Welcome everyone to Totally Online Gaming Group's channel. We're glad you guys could join us for our 6th episode of Atavar Ascension, our D&D 5e campaign. So before we begin, as always, I've got to give a shout out to our sponsors, Critical Hit Gaming Supplies. They are a family-owned, locally owned here in Central Florida company where you can buy dice bags, dice trays, tons and tons of miniatures, awesome stuff. Go ahead and check them out at www.criticalhitgamingsupplies.com. And if you see something there that you like and you're going to buy it, make sure you use TOGG15, that's TOGG15, at checkout, and you'll get 15% off your purchase. You can also check them out this con season at upcoming cons like MegaCon here, May 19th to the 21st, I believe.
19th through
22nd.
19th through the 22nd. They'll also be down at SuperCon in Miami, which I believe starts around July 8th to the 10th. At DragonCon in Atlanta, September 1st through the 5th. And possibly, still haven't gotten word yet, they might actually be at New York Comic Con in October. So you can check them out there. All right. Other announcements. Let's see here. Well, our D&D, we had a little bit of a delay. We had some stuff we had to fix. But it is coming up for the official release. And once we have an official date, I will put that out. So look for that. If you have questions about that, just, post a query in chat or in the comments section below this on YouTube. Let me know if you got any questions about it. I'll gladly fill you in. Also, right now you're listening to the audio-only versions of our campaign. But have no fear, we've already made some major improvements to the studio with more to come. And we should, within about a month and a half, be able to finish everything out. And then we will be live streaming once again. And you will be able to see all of the crazy antics that I have to put up with, like Oscar rubbing his nipples while I am talking right
I like to think I also put up with them.
Yes,
but...
yes, you do. But I think that's it for announcements on my end. Does anybody else have
put on
I have
blast.
some shameless plugs.
Go for it.
So Zach and I are at Nerd Culture is Dead. We do podcasts every Wednesday going up on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. And then we are doing a Divinity stream with Jason that we stream on Wednesday nights at give or take about 7 o'clock. Those YouTube videos go up on Thursdays. So go check us out. Once again, that is Nerd Culture is Dead.
All right. Anybody else? Any announcements? No? All right. Then, without further ado, we bring you Atavar Ascension. So where we last left off, the party had returned back to Kyver, giving news of what had happened on their way when they were up in Woodhurst, finding all of the zombies and the basically no single living soul left alive in the town. They reported back to the guild what they had found, which included a very, very weird root that they had taken a sample of from deep in the well that was in the center of town. They also spread that information as to what they had found back to the client. And, well, they were very sad to hear what had happened, but thankfully would be providing a home for young Harain and making sure that she grew up in the company of those that she loved. Upon returning back to the guild with the papers signed and the task complete, they were informed that they had done such a stellar job on this last mission that they had been in fact upgraded from rank B to rank A. At which point, they were also informed of something else happening later in the season. Starting just a few days from then and going through the end of this month, there would be the advancement trials. A set of challenges where groups could sign up and take on as few or as many challenges as they wished in order to prove themselves and perhaps rise through the ranking system of the Freelancers Association at an increased rate. They decided to sign up and check it out, but said, let's take our time about this, and chose a slot at the very end of the month. In addition to that, they asked a little bit about what they had found in Woodhurst. The guild was not too much help, saying that, look, we're going to kind of stay hands off of this. This is something you found, you deal with it. And inadvertently, while going to talk to, I guess you could call him a friend, Tomer and Gold visited Snooble. They went and, I think it was those two. No, it was you.
No,
you.
it was Percy and Leon.
Percy and Leon.
Well, not at the same time, technically speaking, but yeah.
Yes. They visited Snooble and discovered that Snooble had some gifts for Percy, as according to her little deal, and some information. Something about some barrels with slimy stuff in them. And when they showed him the sample of the root they had, he said, "Yeah, that's it." Deciding that, okay, we might have a lead on what this stuff is, they decided, well, we need to find out what ship that was, where it came from. And they decided to do a raid on the dock's offices at night, as, well, they couldn't get those papers legally without having to go through lots and lots of bureaucracy. So why wait? And deciding to scale the fence, Gold and Leon went to go look for, hey, can we find these documents? While Persephone, Ajax, and Tomer stood outside the gates of the docks, attempting to keep an eye out, and if necessary, provide a distraction, which they did, as Persephone made a mad dash for the gates, screaming about the big dog following her. Ajax began to kind of run after her, almost unsure of what was going on at the time, like, okay, she's running this way.
Fucking women.
And the guards at the gates of the docks almost shot Ajax in the head until Tomer, hearing the commotion, shifted into werewolf form and peeked around the corner so that they saw this big dog-like creature. Now understanding, oh, she meant an actual dog, a giant one. Shit! They let them in to keep them safe, which provided a significant distraction because Leon and Gold were quite as quiet as they thought, but they did manage to get the information they sought and escape. And that is basically where you left off. You had a night's rest back in the Honeypot Inn, and you now had the dock information for which ships had docked at Dock 5, and which ones, therefore, could possibly be that had that illicit cargo. Those ships were, in fact, and because I've got your sheet open with your notes, I can pull it up right from here. The Mystic Mermaid, which sails out of Whaling and made its stop in Kyber here. The Angelique, which is actually from the continent of Enura. The Fires of the Forge, which is from Eotris. And the Etruscan, which hails out of Wales. As far as what you found on the manifests of the ships, nothing stood out. But who knows what was smuggled. So now I turn it over to you guys. It is the morning. You have some information. You also have the possibility of some more jobs through the guild, if you so desire. It is entirely up to you what you do at this point.
Morning.
Alright, well, if no one else is going to go, then I'm assuming we're in our rooms at the Honeypot Inn.
Yes.
I'll head out of my room, just checking in the sort of general inn area if there's anyone I recognize out of the ordinary. Alright.
Looking for your friend.
Well, see, if I don't say that I am, and he actually does show up, then I could get dicked over. So, yes, I'm looking for my friend.
So you're trying to keep an eye out for Jonathan.
Well, if he's not there right now,
You don't see him there. It is the morning, so you have kind of the morning crowd, which you have noticed that ever since saving Maxwell and bringing him back and helping the honeypot kind of get back to normal, the business has slowly but surely been picking up. So there is a decent morning crowd. Some are locals that are just eating there, and there are some guests, that are staying in the inn from other cities, who knows where. It's not packed, but it's a decent amount. As far as, Jonathan is specific, he's not there.
Alright, so then I'm going to take out a small sheet of paper and an ink and quill and quickly write out another note that says, might go looking for a quest at the guild hall today. That would explain if I'm not here today.
Okay.
And then I'll hand that off to Alyssa and say, would you mind also passing on this note if you see the boy?
Yes, and what does he look like again, this young man?
If I had a description written down, then I would know.
Well, he has a nose, some ears,
Two
probably
eyes.
some hair.
He's got a face. I remember a face distinctly.
He's got all 10 digits.
I'm pretty sure he was human, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That summed that down pretty good.
just
Only
yell
about-
Jonathan
only about
every hour or so,
60-some
and if someone
of the
responds, it's
population.
that one.
White boys.
I mean, I think he was like slightly around my height.
Yes.
I don't know these things. It has been many a session since
Yes.
I last saw him. And I forgot to write it down when you first described it.
Well,
What
you
should you
advantage to
get?
taking notes.
Well, I have been taking notes since then. So, I know the advantage. I just fucked up.
Don't remember what he looks like.
I don't know what he looks like, Alyssa. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry I didn't take notes.
Do you have a name at least?
Jonathan.
Okay. Jonathan. She writes that on the outside of it, kind of the folded up note, and sets that behind the bar and says, if anyone named Jonathan comes asking for any notes or letters, I will let them know.
And she has the second one, right?
Yes.
Like the first note, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you. Now, suppose I'll be waiting for the rest of my group to wake up, so in the meantime, I'll, just get a quick tea.
Very well.
I'll take one as well.
As Gold walks up.
Whoa! That's the guy!
The clap
I am
track,
the guy.
people cheering as he enters from the side.
Like a fucking sitcom.
Yeah.
There he is! That's my favorite white boy!
It's your white boy.
He starts talking, but stops as he waits for the cheering to stop. Yes, I'll also have the tea.
Laugh track.
Yeah, the Big Bang Theory laugh
Looks
track.
up towards, like, that corner of the room.
I'd love to get a laugh track installed. Just make my character a sitcom.
Oh, God.
So yes, she nods to you, Gold, as you say that, and goes off to get tea for both of you.
Awesome.
Let's go take a seat.
I suppose I'll probably be getting up around this time as well and
Okay.
making my way downtown, walking
Fast.
fast.
Faces fast.
Are you home, by the way?
Well, more or less.
This is my home
The
now.
battlefield is my home.
All right. Tomer, Persephone,
I'm still sleeping.
Oh,
in
Where?
his room.
Oh, in his bed with him, topless. As you do.
that's fine. I sleep commando.
Shirt cocking.
Short cock.
Winnie the Pooh over here.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so you guys are still sleeping?
I'll wake up.
Okay. Just favor in the room. Yeah. Okay.
But was just like, nice.
Self fun.
Yes.
Titties.
All right, so I assume you guys end up coming down to
Yeah,
the
might as
breakfast.
well.
And you okay? So
I'm just gonna brush
You
that
guys
one
see-
off right on.
Golden Leon sitting there.
Hey, you're the one who made it
Enjoying
awkward.
some tea.
That's fair. I did.
He's a man of God.
Exquisite.
Yes, you see them there enjoying some tea.
Scrumdiddlyumptious. Yes. Tea.
Tea. We are sophisticated.
I'm gonna greet
getting
them both with
character.
a nice slap on the back with my tail from the annoyance I've already got this morning.
And my day's gone sour.
It's time to drink.
All right. So there you are. You're all now sitting at the table together. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, I order the usual and have my normal, do my normal breakfast routine and
The huge.
yep.
So, we know what ships came into port. We don't know, however, who those ships are native to. We know the country, but who's using those ships as the manifest to get the product where. Because someone is taking the barrels off the ship. So, what I suggest we do is we wait with you up at the docks. Maybe have you work on dock 5 and have your keen sense of smell
Yeah, that's fine.
figure out where those barrels are when they come in and we can track them from there.
Well, that's assuming they keep coming in.
Because for all we know, they could be
Yeah,
coming
dude.
from here and going out.
Well, and if they don't come back, then is it our problem anymore?
Yes,
only-
because there's still injustice happening out in the world.
It's technically not our problem,
It's
but
only
like
our
he
problem if we make it our problem.
I like to.
Wait,
said, it's
we'd
an
have to
unsolved
go-
problem.
Be globetrotters that try and find the thing, because we wouldn't have a lead.
You've been around a little bit before, haven't you?
I've been around the wagon, yeah.
Right. And see, here's the thing. We can obviously operate carefully, like you're saying, but when has that ever gotten anyone anywhere? We're risk takers.
I don't want a second job.
I don't understand.
He doesn't want a second job, so that lends even further to my point. We could just plant someone on one of the ships if we see them come in. We don't have to have a reasonable search warrant if no one knows we're there.
Well, that's fine if he's working as a dockhand.
I'm
Then he's
not
gonna be.
working as a dog.
But he's not working as a doctor.
You don't want to be a good bloodhound.
No.
Look, so we
I'm not
have
gonna be treated as a pet.
a magical fairy tale creature on our side, as well as someone who can go invisible and someone who is not half bad at stealth either. You as well, Persephone. I know you know your way around hiding from people. You hid in his
Sure.
bed last night, so
Oh, I knew she was there.
There was
I
no
just didn't
hiding. I don't hide what I do.
Either way, we need some kind of reasonable conclusion to get on one of these ships and figure out where it's going. What I'd like to do is
tiptoe on and check.
It's not.
if
check
we
the cargo.
find
It's
the
got-
cargo, we
Right.
need to see who's taking it and where, and then we can take
But
that
that
information and solve our problem here before.
Right.
Did that document you all found show the times when the ship came in?
We just got names and well,
Names and
general
locations.
Yeah, the ship that's docking in there now.
Apparently
is-
names and countries.
The ship that's docking in there today is a dwarven ship. So,
Well, the Mystic
So-
Mermaid did tell us a specific city, so we have that going for us.
Do we have any way of knowing that ship will even pull in today?
We don't. That's the problem. Is we'd have to play the long game and just wait.
is there a library or something we can go to?
I'm
I would
there's a
imagine.
library
Maybe we
in
could
town.
have one of the people working the dock
Access those maps in
come
the city,
tell
please.
us when something like that shows up.
Because if there's a library, we can find what.
I'm
We
sure
wanna
one of
keep
us could be
someone on payroll,
persuasive.
sure.
We can find.
And we
Much
could pay them for their
appreciated.
information. They're not really actively working. Toss them a few gold just for letting us know if something like that comes in.
I'm not sure how reliable a dockhand would be at relaying information to us when we're all over the place as is, though.
Well, I mean, either way, either he comes and tells us, or we sit around waiting at the dock 24/7.
It's the only problem.
And we
Because
got.
no one knows exactly when these ships come in. They're just identifiable by flags out at port.
And we got to start training soon because the date's gonna sneak up on us for the exam. So we gotta kill two birds somehow.
Killing two birds with one somehow. Yes.
maybe I can probably find some information. Sailors like to have a good time. I can swing by the horny halfling, see if I can find these sailors with loose lips.
If you think you can find some information at the horny halfling, I say go for it.
Yep.
Just don't get too interested in the halfling.
I don't care much for halflings.
You say it may not be reliable, but if we're promising them, 5-10 gold just for the information,
They might become running for it,
yeah. So they'll know where to find us. We return to the honeypot every single day. Well, assuming we're not out, that is, of course.
So are we going to focus on this before we do any more tests for the guild?
Up to you. This would kind of put it on autopilot for now.
Well, I think we've put ourselves in a position where we're deeming ourselves responsible for this. We need to take care of it.
You put yourself in a position where you feel responsible for this.
Look, Persephone, if you don't want to join us, you're free to leave.
Well, I agree that I want to bring these people to justice, but there's no practical way of doing this immediately unless we walk down there right now and the ship's just happening to be there.
And if they are,
Well, then so be
Then
it.
we make a move.
all right.
We can check.
I say that.
I rolled
Jackson,
high
you
enough,
wanna
let's do it.
What?
I rolled high enough, let's do it.
Let's do this.
So you roll to see if you agree?
No, I rolled to see if I wanted to just walk down to the fucking dock for no reason.
Yeah, we can check
If I
that
can
there.
find,
Besides, I need to return these manifests somehow anyway.
because
Here, I stole these.
I did do tests on the route.
Here, I found these on the sidewalk.
If I can find an area or region that seems suitable to grow this type of material,
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Could go with topography if you know anything about the geography in general.
If it is specific to a certain area.
Yeah,
Right.
That would take a
That's all
lot of
coming out
testing.
Fucking talk.
I have
Well,
a
I
question
did
for
roll
the
pretty high.
DM.
Well, I mean, growing things takes time.
Do I have any way that I am aware of how to get back home? Because I don't really know how I got back here.
Yeah, you don't know how you got
Okay.
that. You basically,
But I mean, do
you
I
basically
know?
like woke up one day and
Yeah.
was like, "Where the fuck am I?"
But do I know how to get there or no?
Give me an Arcana check.
Okay, well you maybe, not me.
you're not from there, Zach.
Where the fuck's my Arcana? 11.
You're not sure.
Okay, cool. It's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Hold on. I gotta check something.
So did I hear that correct? Leon and I are going to go down to the docks real quick.
I mean, we could just all go if you want.
Sure.
All right.
Can I wave down Alyssa?
I was going to say maybe someone else
Yeah,
could
absolutely.
go pick up a task from the guild in the meantime.
Since I'm gonna be out and about, I'll swing by.
I guess I could always go pick up the task.
Oh,
We're pretty good at that.
The real question is, do we want something easy or do we want something hard?
We already got a lot on our hands, so I think something
Easy and quick.
Yeah.
Quick coin.
I wouldn't say we have a lot on our hands because this is kind of at the mercy of when it happens.
We don't know how big this stretches out. This could be a whole plot that we have no idea about, and we're just barely scraping the surface.
True.
It could also just be some
we don't have the
poor
next
farmer not
step,
knowing
though.
what he's doing.
I don't think a farmer could create something from a different plane of existence.
No, but he could have found a seed of something from another plane of existence and just planted it.
Right, but if that's the case, then we find out where he found that seed and we just extinguish it.
That's why I'm asking Alyssa. Alyssa, is there any resource libraries or anything around here that I could visit for public knowledge?
What do you mean, like resource library? Like
I need
library
some
or-
library, something with topography or just general information about certain land areas.
There's a church
I suppose the library would have that kind of stuff.
and a city
I
council
really don't
building.
spend a lot of time there.
Where is it located from here?
Let me have. I need the zone map.
Sorry.
Or for work?
Thank you. All right. So, yes, the library, basically the main city library where you'll find that is actually up in Northgate.
Frickin' Northgate. Alright.
You got a long walk.
Well, I can stop at the guild, see what they got, and then I can head up to Northgate
While we're taking care of the.
while you guys are at the docks. If you guys want to do that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and hit the docks.
Alright, I'll head up to Northgate.
Or you couldn't push any of your contacts, could you?
I can.
Well, why don't you see if they know anything about it? You want one of us to come with you, or you want to go
Oh,
alone?
you split. Oh, you
I can take Percy with me. We'll go hit up her resources, then go to the library, and then hit up the guild to see what they got.
Yo, we're going to talk to the gangs, then go to the library.
You're
I'm
right.
still stuck on the fact that you're going to hit up her resources. I thought you did that last night.
Ooh. Ooh.
I got
The
more
world
stamina.
may never know.
Then what, Oscar?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm a creature of the night.
Yeah, no, I'm well aware.
Oh no.
Yeah, all right.
You think we did this regular form?
Oh no.
Oh.
There was no safe word.
So you three can go to the docks. Me and Percy will go do the information scouting and a quick task with the guilds what we want.
Something quick.
Do what feels right.
Alright. Well, then we got our day ahead of us. Let's start heading out.
Off to the docks.
Okay.
Time
So,
to dock.
who is heading to the docks?
It'd be me.
You three. Okay. So, Gold, Ajax, and Leon, you start making your way over the docks, which the honeypot is closer to the docks than it is up to Northgate. So, after a nice, brisk morning walk in the warm, summery air that you're dealing with, you eventually arrive at the dock gates, which are open. Wander through, and where do you go?
I go straight to the office.
Sleight of hand their papers back.
I'm gonna ask if they have a lost and found.
Oh my! I don't think
They're
that's
sitting there
a good
discussing the break-in that happened last night that their papers got so like, here you go, I found this.
They were outside.
Found these in a trash can. Don't ask why I was looking in the trash can.
And,
So-
while he's doing that, I know I'm gonna head down to Dock 5 Berth
Yep.
3.
I'm gonna go with Leon.
Okay, so you're first then, Gold. You walk into the offices. As before, front door opens. You see yourself in a fairly undecorated, just functional room that has kind of built in on one side a desk or almost why does the words always escape me? Like a reception desk type setup. With one door on the far end of the room, another door behind the reception desk on that same wall, and currently no one there.
I'm gonna peer into the other room where we broke in last night. Is there anyone in there?
Okay, so you're gonna just open the door and look in?
Like, who's wrong door? Let anything happen.
Okay. You open it. Nobody's there.
I just gotta set this shit down on whatever pile happens to be close by and leave.
Okay. And that's all you do?
Yep, I'm leaving.
Okay. Leon and Ajax, you make your way down to
Dock
Pier
5
5.
Berth 3.
Dock 5, Berth 3.
3 berths. Triplets.
Yes. You make your way down, and you see there isn't any ships currently docked at Berth 3. There seems to be one over at Berth 4. There's one at Berth 1. There's a couple further down as well, but none at Berth 3 currently.
Might as well check the other berths.
Okay. Let's just walk down the pier and taking a look to see what the ships are.
See what the names, yeah.
Okay. Random couple names. There's the Wind Spear. You also see Coral Breaker.
These guys are good at naming ships.
Mhm.
See, I think the goal of a ship is not to break the coral. That's probably crash
That's
the ship.
badass.
Yeah,
It's a
well,
statement.
yeah,
Fuck
if
the
you-
coral reef.
if you're drowning, I guess that's a statement.
Industry,
You see one, you're not sure what country or language that's from. It's called the Heineken.
Hey, Heineken.
But none of them match the names of the 4 ships that you saw in the manifest.
Nope, it was worth a shot.
And it was.
By this time, you think I would have caught up to them?
Eventually, yeah.
Well, if we got 4 ship names, we could probably ask them if there's any pattern of regularity of them coming into the...
We could, or we could see if there's a ship receiving coordinator who would happen to coordinate the ships coming in and talk to them.
That
about
could
this.
also be a thing, if that is a thing that is here.
Great way of phrasing.
Possibilities.
If there is an answer, I wish to see that answer, which is correct.
Could I go ahead and look for a receiving coordinator?
Sure. Give me a perception check.
That is a 22.
Yeah, you do see someone. You guys, by the way, passed Baca on your way out. He was actually over at Dock 2, apparently dealing with something going on there. But you have noticed, as you've been walking past the docks, there does seem to be at each dock someone who is walking up and down the dock, seeming to go to the ships, carrying around some kind of clipboard type thing and paperwork. And you do see one walking about 60 feet away from you currently, over by the wind sphere.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and walk up to the person.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
So you walk up. This particular woman is a halfling, and she is quite muscular. Obviously, she's been very busy at the docks when it comes to working stuff. She doesn't seem like she's just a pencil pusher. She's you almost at first think she's a dwarf just based on the muscle mass that this woman has. But when you get closer, yeah, it's clearly a halfling. And she has actually long red hair tied up, going down her back. It's from the build process.
I was like, I'm touching with my foot. I'm like, the
Mhm.
fuck is this?
Perhaps you're missing one?
No. Okay. But these long red hair, wearing some fairly simple work attire, and a scowl on her face as she's looking at paperwork and seems to be dealing with some dragonborn with blue scales who is talking at her rather harshly. And it's just, you see this harsh exchange as you approach.
Everything okay here? I'd butt in.
Dragonborn just kind of looks at you and growls a little bit. The halfling woman looks up at you and says, "What concern is it of yours? I'm busy here. Let me do my job."
Fair enough. We got questions for you when you're available.
Available? What, you got a ship?
No.
Then I ain't available.
I scratch my head.
He has sound reasoning.
Yeah, there's logic there, and I'm not.
They continue to yell back and forth, and as you're kind of close by now, you hear the gist of their conversation. It seems to be haggling over the price of the dock fee. She's pushing, that, all right, it's going to be, 20 gold per day. He keeps saying, fuck no, last time I was here was 15, blah, 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 blah. And it's just back and forth and back and forth. No one seems to want to give an inch. But eventually, the Dragonborn seems to cave and pays up the gold. Then walks up the gangplank, back up to the wind spear. And the woman turns around and looks at you. She rolls her eyes. She looks down the dock at the other berths. Turns and looks out towards the open water. Fuck. Fine, I guess I have time.
Excellent.
Hi, how's it going, man? We simply would like to know about 4 particular ships that have come into this berth in the last few... What's the time frame?
Well, we were gone for what, like
12 days?
Yeah. Actually, no, more like 2 weeks almost.
It was like 14 days. Well, I guess that's 2 weeks.
Either way,
2 weeks, yes.
4
14
ships
or
have
15
come into
is
this
what I was
berth
going to
over
say,
the
but-
span of around 2 weeks. And we have the ship names. We were just wondering if there's any way...
I was just going to say, that's quite a bit.
Yeah. We were just wondering if there's any way of knowing when these ships arrive again.
If there's any sort of pattern in their showing up.
She starts flipping through.
You want to go ahead and get the ship names ready while she searches?
All right, don't worry, I do.
And she does ask for him.
All right, so the Mystic Mermaid,
Mm-hmm.
Angelique,
Mm-hmm.
Fires of the Forge,
Okay.
and the Etruscan.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, they were here.
Do you know where they headed off to?
No. It's not my business.
Do you know, is there any sort of pattern in them showing up is what we're getting at? Do they show up on a schedule? Or anything remotely close to that?
I guess. Depends on the season.
How about now? Every week, 2 weeks? Every few days? Anything that we can work with?
This has eaten up a lot of my time. What am I getting out of this?
I pull out my gold pouch and I take out 10 gold and say, how much do you get paid an hour? Probably not 10
How much
gold.
do you have?
This bitch.
I'm willing to pay 10 gold. Does 10 gold sound good? I think 10 gold sounds good.
I think 20 sounds better.
I think 10 sounds good.
It does, but 20 sounds better.
Can I roll persuasion?
You can try.
Alright, hold on a sec. Okay, that's going to be a 20, 30, and I'm going to say 20 sounds good, but 10 sounds good for now until you give me more information. Alright.
She holds her hand out.
Alright, I'm going to drop 10 gold off.
She looks at it.
Certified 10 gold coins.
She bites one.
Real gold.
Puts them in a little pouch at her hip. Problem there?
His mic keeps like slipping down into his shirt, so I'm popping him out. I want to make sure we can hear him.
And yeah, speaking of which, yours I think. Yeah.
Why I had mine on standby while I
was
did
like,
that.
I can't see that. Okay, so she slips it into a pouch at her hip. She goes back to looking through. All right. Wind spear. Sorry. You said what? Mystic Mermaid.
Mystic Mermaid.
Mystic Mermaid. That one. Yeah, once a month for that one. Let's see, what else you said? Angelique. Looks to be about every 3 months. Fires of the Forge. Fires of the Forge. Fires of the Forge. Huh. 45, 46 days. They're a little bit erratic, but average. Almost a month on average. The Etruscan. Oh, okay. Huh. I only have him once.
That sounds a bit peculiar. Only showed up once. Well, that's our best lead.
Talking to Snooble, he said that ship is. He implied that the ship has come in more than once, right?
I don't think he said anything specifically about that.
I thought there were multiple instances of the barrels coming in. Maybe I
No.
remember that incorrect.
Like I said, that's not my business. I know it hails out of. Kind of hails out of Ravensbarrow.
That's not too far. I mean, it's on the same continent at least. So.
Say far enough to justify taking a boat.
Alright.
Well, thank you very much. And I didn't forget.
Yeah, her hand's already out.
I'm just going to my inventory. It's much easier to track gold on D&D Beyond. 10 more. Here you go.
What's in her pouch? All right, now get. I got work.
Right. Come on, let's go.
I nod and go about my way.
All right.
I'm not made of money. This is going to run me dry eventually.
Percy and Tomer.
Yo!
I was just going to threaten her.
So, you make your way up to Northgate. Now,
It's much cheaper.
by the time they've gotten to this point,
I thought we were making a stop before.
We're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
stop at the guild first, then Northgate.
you're gonna stop at the guild first. Okay, so yeah, you actually get to the guild then shortly after they got to the docks and were walking down towards Pier 5. As always, opulent as ever, and sitting up, we have at the desk we have Bart and Aiden.
Do we have to talk to them to get the quest, or is there like a quest board?
You've never seen a quest board
I'm
before.
gonna
Well,
walk
because
up.
like I know there was a board that they posted. Is that not a quest board?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna walk up
Away we
to
go.
Aiden.
I'm gonna go to Bart because isn't he where we got him from?
Well, we're in a different rank now, so I think we go to Aiden.
Off to Aiden
We'll
we go.
split, we'll divide and conquer.
Okay,
All
both 1-on-1.
All right,
Split
so
the party
We're
more.
splitting the party split?
we'll start with you,
Make
Anthony. Bart looks up from whatever he seems to be doing on the desk. Goes, what?
You have any more quest lying about?
Points to Aiden.
All right, cool. Have a good day.
I bet that happens way too often.
Mm-hmm.
Aiden!
Hello. What can I do for you today?
You got any quests laying around you need to get done?
Yes, let's see. He looks through. Sadly, the pickings are a little slim. Early bird catches the worm and all. Many of the other members have snatched up most. Actually, all we have left are these two, and I believe you've seen them before. They've been around for a little while.
They need to get done.
No one seems to want them.
That sounds like a perfect opportunity.
I know that feeling. No, I'm not there.
Yeah, I mean, livestock's pretty simple
The
enough,
thing
and
is, we
it's
don't have to
farming
travel.
related,
We
so
don't have to
it's
travel out of here.
yeah, sure, fuck it.
We'll do the livestock disappearance.
Here you go, good sir.
Disappearing.
Ah.
Gotta sign that for us.
Yes.
Oh, hold on. Here, it's the one I want.
Well, let's see. So, once again, assigning Blue Devils. And sign in the book, please.
Got it.
I cut my hand and.
Yep. Yes, now I remember.
She did that last
Very
time
well.
too. It was really weird.
And you may take your the document and carry on. I hope you solve this one quickly.
Will do. Have a good one.
And you as well.
Looking back at the map, do we know how far that farm is?
If you look at the city map, you'll notice. I'll show you here.
The division one?
Yeah, either one's fine. What you'll notice is that the farmland, it basically covers like all of this area around
Yeah.
the outskirts. But it's divided up. It's like they're
There's
almost
still
like farm
sections of 'em.
estates.
Yeah.
And it's not too hard to get some information about it. You would know that, like one farmer owns all of
That
this
part,
land.
one is
Another
here,
one
and then-
owns about half of this section.
Uh-huh.
The other one owns this half, and then this one owns like all down here. So there's really only 4 major farms run by some pretty wealthy farm families.
That's fun. We gotta go towards Northgate anyway. We can get information while we're there.
All right, so you guys start making your way there.
Yep.
And eventually you do kind of cross over from the bowl into Northgate. And as you've been making your way there, it's not a strict transition. No, this is not Eknot. This is Northgate.
Never mind.
It is not a strict transition like you have when you go to Eknot, where there's actually a wall separating it off and guards. What you notice is as you're heading north in the bowl, that even though things in like the center of the bowl and all that is very commercial, so to speak, very businesses and inns and taverns and stuff like that, they're not super high end, but nor are they
Low quality.
nor it's not the slums.
Gotcha.
But as you're heading towards Northgate, things are getting a little more high end. Not anything like Eknot, like what you saw up there. That
Gotcha.
was
So,
like
like,
the cream
little
of the
bit-
crop,
A little
top
bit higher
nobles.
than middle class.
Yeah, this is like upper middle class.
Gotcha.
As you're going through, so you're coming here. There are some shops and things around as you start getting up into there, but it is mostly residential and nice residential. There are individual businesses and things that cater to the area, and most of the shops up there seem to be more specialty stores. Like this is a higher end seamstress. This over here, this is like a chocolatier.
Ooh, I'm gonna make a stop there.
Yeah, they got I say this guy over here is making scented soaps and things like that. So it's more specialized things that are kind of more luxurious as opposed to
I might start
necessities.
at that soap shop. Okay.
We're making 2 little quick shopping stops.
Okay.
And for what it's worth, I'm taking my hood off to look less intimidating.
Okay.
Because, hood on is somehow more intimidating.
Reveals that you're a fucking demon.
This is better, right, guys?
I'm gonna keep my hood on.
Probably a good idea for you.
I was gonna consider doing something else, but it's not gonna last that long, so why do it?
How long does this guy self last?
An hour.
Ah.
Ask.
Yeah.
So you're making a little quick stopping,
Yeah, chocolate.
shopping stop.
Take my lady to the chocolate store.
Okay. It's a very nice little shop. There are all manner of chocolates. You see some that are like, this is strawberry infused chocolate. There's a rich dark chocolate. There's some kind of milk chocolate. Different varieties. Some are in interesting shapes. Like you'll see little hearts or like a dove carved out of chocolate. Bars. Some of them have some nuts in them. Some of them have like fruit bits. All manner. Some of them look odd, as in like, who the fuck would come up with a combination like that? But those, a lot of those
It's
strange
like the
ones.
potato tips in chocolate. It sounds
Yeah.
gross, but it's delicious.
But it's like these different, like the odder the combination, it seems like the more high end it is, because that's like the stuff that's like, behind like little glass and all this and kind of protected a little more. But very nice shop, and I mean, you can smell the smells of sugar baking and, and sweets, and it's beautiful.
Alright, I'm gonna go get me an assorted box of chocolates.
You got it. That's going to cost you about 4 gold.
Holy inflation!
But you get a nice box. I mean, this is like a 1 foot by 1 foot by 4 inches tall box, and there's probably about 40-50 different little pieces of chocolate in there, arranged and all in kind of like a nice pillowy layers of cloth and
Delicious.
stuff. Yeah.
I'm gonna go do soap shop now.
Oh no.
That's what I got here. I got what I came here for. Wow.
What you got here for?
Yeah.
I'll buy her.
You came.
Another box.
I'll buy her.
Ooh,
Oh, you now have.
It was a very good night.
someone had a good evening.
You actually have a total. It's actually 48 pieces per box.
Oh.
You have 96 now.
Delicious.
Pieces of chocolate in boxes. They're going to carry around with you.
I got
In the
it
summertime.
somehow.
Chocolate.
Uncultured
To the
swines.
criminal underworld.
Mm-hmm.
Buying chocolates from the
96
criminal underworld.
pieces.
96 pieces
Would you
of
care for a chocolate?
That sucks.
Yeah, we'll go to the soap shop quick. All I'm looking for is just something made with like tea leaves in it in the soap.
Oh, easy enough.
Yeah,
Easy
I'll
enough.
get
Like, are you looking for like, bars, or are you looking for any specific shape?
Just
they
any-
look. You actually see like carved shapes and stuff of soap too.
no, just regular bars. I'll get 2 of them.
Okay. The woman who seems to be running the shop, just another human woman, very plain looking, actually.
Suspicious.
Kind of-
plain.
Kind of a mousy features to her. Just kind of wraps these up, hands it to you, and it's 1 gold.
Thank you.
Soap's cheap.
I don't know that they would have this. Would they have any like smelling salt kind of stuff there, or is that
They
not?
do.
Can
They
I
do.
get some smelling salts?
Sure. Smelling salts. That will be 6 silver.
Okay.
All right.
What an odd combination of things you're buying.
Silver and gold is
Say again.
one gold is how
1
many
gold
silver?
is 10 silver.
10. Okay. And you said it was 6.
Yeah, it's all in tens with the exception
Yeah,
of the
I couldn't
electrum, which
remember
we just ignore.
which jump it was.
We don't use electrum.
To the library. And I'll ask the soap shop maker before I leave, just to point out the direction to get to the library so we don't get lost.
And they give you some easy directions. Takes you about another 10 minutes of walking. It's
So
not
you-
that far away. But you arrive at a very large library. Fairly well maintained, too. I mean, again, this is a nicer area of town. You see there's plenty of people seem to be going into or coming out of the library. And like I said, it is very large. Think the structure of it looks very Greek, to put a real world spin on it, columns and stuff like that. And as you enter the library, you get, especially you, Tomer, this kind of heavy scent of wood from the bookshelves, like, thick, heavy woods, the paper, and the leather of bindings. I mean, if anything could smell like a library, this smells more library than any library that is ever libraried.
Perfect.
Yes.
Is there a reception area where I can ask for
Yes,
help?
there is. It's actually a nice big round desk. Sitting in the center of that desk happens to be a fairly tall-looking elf woman. very high cheekbones, thin face, not ugly, but not really beautiful either. Kind of like she got the short end of the elf beauty stick.
Rude.
Yes, actually. But she has a very nice smile as she sees you approaching the desk. She's looking at you and you, mostly looking at you, Percy, as she, her smile is still there, but she's kind of staring at you a little bit.
Hello.
Hello, fair lady. I am inquiring some knowledge about agriculture.
Agriculture?
Uncommon agriculture, if possible.
Uncommon
agriculture.
Well, let me give me a moment.
All right.
Wow, both of you, no clue. Okay. Sorry, just looking up some stats on you guys.
No, my perception
Yeah,
passive
your
is
passive is
trash.
10.
Yeah.
Both of you.
Yeah. Do you expect me to notice things?
Yeah.
Wrong.
She begins to dig through some boxes that have little cards in them of kind of like harder. It's like a thicker paper.
Index tax.
They're like index cards, but they're thicker
Structured
than what we
paper.
would have. And she's kind of flitting through them, and her fingers are just kind of like dancing through them. And she's been doing this for a while. You can tell. I mean, she knows what she's doing to look through here. Even so, it takes her a good minute or two before she finally gets to what she's looking for. And she looks through there and goes, ah. Yes. If you go up to the 3rd floor, take the eastern stairs. 3rd floor, left.
Yep.
Continue past the sign that says horticulture. Little further on, you will get to agriculture.
Thank you so much.
I got another one. The demonic plane situation. You got anything on that?
She's staring at you.
Awkward.
I give her a nice, intimidating smile.
Finger guns.
I'm gonna grab Percy and be like, I'm sorry about her. Come on.
No. She starts digging through. 2nd floor, eastern stairs, again. Take a right. Down the 3rd left, and then 2 shelves over. You should see stuff on planar information in general.
Alright, thank you.
Good job, Percy. You might go there first.
Oh, I figured we'd split. I know how to read a book.
Well, another thing is we can try to help you figure out search better for the
Get
information.
attacked by an animated bookshelf.
Because what's your intelligence?
I know how to read a book. That's a plus
Alright.
one.
Just trying to get all the information. Actually, I feel like your section might be a little bit better than where I'm going.
Well, I'm gonna head to my section.
Probably.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow her to her section.
2nd
first.
floor, right.
2nd floor, take a right.
Something about
3rd
3rd left. And then there are
and
2
then
bookshelves in.
down.
Yep, we'll go there first.
Okay. It takes you a couple minutes. You get there. And you see just this massive bookshelf. Each of these floors, just like standard stories, they're about 10 foot from one to the other. And it is straight bookshelves, from floor pretty much up to ceiling. There's a small gap at the very top. And they're completely full of books. This is a very full library.
It is a library.
Right. There are also scrolls and stuff. So some of these bookshelves are actually scroll shelves, where instead of just books stacked up, they actually have like these little diamond-shaped things, and scrolls are sitting in there. So you'll have combinations of these as you're looking through.
All right.
But as you're looking at titles of the books and pulling them out, kind of figuring out what some of them are, this is just all manner of information on different planes of existence. Some of it is theoretical. Some of it seems to be recounting of visits there by those who have traveled to other planes. Some of it's fiction, obviously. There's a mix, and it's all about different planes, and it doesn't seem to be in really any order other than information about the planes in this entire bookshelf. So I need investigation checks to find what you're looking for. That's the end of part 1 for this episode. Tune in for part 2 next week.